If you're a veteran that has tried to buy a home recently and have been turned away because of your credit score, then stick around because this video is for you. Hey guys, I'm Luke and I'm a licensed mortgage loan officer who specializes in VA home loans for veterans with low credit. Today we're gonna address why your credit score does not matter for a VA home loan, and we're gonna address some ways on how you can get that pre-approval letter. So be sure to stick around to the end because I'm gonna share a cool success story. So here's the question, why does your credit score not matter on a VA home loan? Quite simply, the VA doesn't care. So let me explain. The VA leaves it up to the lenders to decide whether or not there is going to be a credit score requirement imposed upon their borrowers. So that is why if you've tried to go through some of these big box companies, they require that you have at least a 620 credit score. Well, the issue is that there's a lot of misinformation that spreads around, and these loan officers or these companies that you work with, they may not understand the full depth of the VA requirements in the sense that there actually isn't a credit score requirement on VA loans, but they would leave you to believe that it has to be at least a 620, for example, because that's their company requirement. So what tends to happen is veterans like yourself get caught up in this rat race of, okay, I need to do X, Y, and Z to get my credit scores up, typically consisting of paying off collections, getting them pay for delete, trying to get charge-offs taken care of, and so on, when that's kind of counterintuitive to the goal of purchasing a home now. And so I've seen this time and time again where veterans come to me saying, hey, look, I've worked with several lenders before you. I'm trying to get this taken care of. I'm trying to buy a home for my family, but I can't because my credit score isn't high enough. Well, the good news is that not every lender has a credit score requirement. The company I work for example, Mortgage Solutions, we do not have a credit score requirement on VA home loans. So what does this mean for you? With lenders that don't have a credit score requirement on VA home loans, it kind of makes things a little bit easier to get through the door. Again, like we discussed, most lenders will require that you have at least a 620 in order to even be eligible to apply for the loan. At a company like ours, for example, the credit score is unimportant. That isn't something that's going to factor into our decision as far as the underwriting guidelines and so on go. So if the credit score doesn't indeed matter, then how do we go about getting pre-approved? Great question. And often people say, oh, this sounds too good to be true. Well, let me explain. Not having a credit score requirement on a VA home loan makes it easier for you to be able to start the process and actually get some real candid feedback about what needs to happen for you to get pre-approved. That being said, we still follow the VA guidelines as far as following the underwriting requirements, making sure everything complies with the VA loan standards, and so on. We remove that unnecessary obstacle of a credit score because that's just a way to, in my opinion, weed people out from the beginning. So what do we look at? We look at the last 12 months of your credit history, looking to make sure there's no late payments, new collections, or charge-offs. I often refer to these loans as storytelling loans because if you have a late payment or old collections that show up, it's not just a hard no, sorry, that's it, goodbye, like a credit score. Rather, we look at, okay, what's the full picture here? And then we start to kind of tell our story to the underwriter as far as, okay, this is what's going on. I believe this can work. Let's see what we can do. If, for example, we do a soft credit pull for you and we see that there are multiple late payments, multiple collections in the last 12 months. Well, at that point, we can at least establish a game plan for you to say, look, these are the things that we need to work on, or we look at a realistic time frame calendar as far as, okay, we give it the next 8 months, we'll be outside that 12-month window of those last late payments that you had, and we'll be in a good position to be able to move forward. Another reason why companies use the whole credit score model is because they are looking for automated underwriting approvals. What does that mean? So when we run a file through the automated underwriting system, companies are typically trying to get the approval right off the bat from the automated underwriter. If you can't get that automated approval based off of credit score, debt to income, and so on, it will then kick to a manual underwrite. A manual underwrite is when an actual human underwriter has to go through and underwrite the file. In my time as a loan officer, I have probably only had a handful of files that were actually approvals from the automated underwriting system. Basically every single loan that I've done has been a manual underwrite. And a major reason why these big companies don't take scores below a certain number is because they're trying to avoid the manual underwrites because they may just not do them. So here, for example, we specialize in those manual underwrites. We take a look and go deep dive into everything we need to make sure that you actually have a realistic shot and we can make this work for you as far as obtaining a VA home loan and purchasing a home. So to wrap it up, basically, if you are in a position where you need to purchase a home, you've tried to go to these different lenders and have seen time and time again how they tell you, oh, you need to get your credit score up, do X, Y, and Z like we discussed, and you're feeling hopeless, bogged down, and you don't know if there's any other options. Well, I'm here to tell you that there absolutely is. Now, if we're not able to move forward at the moment, or there's a little too much going on that we might not feel comfortable with, then we also have an additional option, which is called our TBD process. This process allows us to basically compile all of your information, get it through the processing and then underwriting phase before granting a pre-approval so that our underwriters can see it and tell whether or not we'd be able to move forward now with an underwritten pre-approval, or if we need to just wait and work on some things. All of this to say, your credit score is unimportant in this entire process. It may be important for other lenders, but there are lenders like ourselves that don't care. At the beginning of the video, I promised a success story. So this one actually happened just a couple of days ago, and I felt super proud and excited about this. I had a borrower come to me basically saying this exact same kind of thing that we've talked about, where I've talked to 4 different lenders. I've gone with some crazy advice. I've done these different things. One lender told me to do this. The next lender told me that was a stupid idea, and so on. And we spoke on the phone. He was basically like, look, Luke, if you can make this happen, that would be an absolute miracle. Well, I'll tell you what happened. We went ahead and did his credit pull, took a look at the full file, and based off of what I saw, we were able to make this work. They are now submitting offers and trying to get under contract on this home that they want to purchase. And so all of this to say, just because you might feel hopeless or feel like there's no chance, it's worth trying. So if this sounds like you've been through this ringer, you're trying to purchase a home, you don't know where to turn, and you just need some guidance. I mean, by all means, I'm here to help and happy to help and willing to connect to help you on your home buying journey. So all this isn't to sound salesy. I am offering my help as a genuine resource to help you with the VA loan process to understand, okay, what is it that I need to do to actually make this happen in my future? And basically every veteran that I've spoken to, and we've gone through this, and when we're not able to move forward now, but we've established a game plan, they've always expressed their gratitude and are happy walking away from that conversation because now we have something to realistically go off of and work with. Thanks so much for sticking around, guys. Please like and subscribe. And if you want to get connected with me, there's a link in the bio to schedule a call with me. Thanks so much.